In this tutorial, we'll talk about the alveolar tap, also known as the flap. It occurs between two vowels when the first vowel is stressed. So in a word like water, the first syllable is stressed, water, and the phoneme t that occurs between will pick up some voicing, and it will sound D-like. That is an alveolar tap. Water. In broad transcription, you can transcribe it as the underlying phoneme, which it would be a lowercase t, because that symbol represents all of the allophones of t. Or you can be more specific. And in broad transcription, for some reason, people like to show certain allophones of t. One being the alveolar tap, which is represented by a fish hook R. And the glottal stop is also very popular in broad transcription. I don't see the need for it when doing broad transcription, but in assignments I will generally specify when you're expected to do that. So there are a couple other places where an alveolar tap can happen. So we said it can occur between two vowels when the stress is on the first vowel. Another example of that could be butter, butter. And notice that this is a uniquely American phenomenon, that in England, this allophone would not happen there. So they would have butter or water, but the T will not become D-like. That's a pretty American phenomenon. Another place where it can happen is between an R-colored vowel, that's stress, and another vowel, like barter. And the alveolar tap is an allophone of both t and d, and this is kind of important. Both of these phonemes can be pronounced with this identical allophone, this lightly striking the alveolar ridge with partial voicing. So in a word like harder, we might also get an alveolar tap rapidly. The difference is, though, that you have two separate phonemes that happen to have an identical allophone. So what that means is, in broad transcription, you can transcribe those as the alveolar tap, or you can transcribe them as their underlying phoneme. Why is that important? Because we would not transcribe the word water with a d, or butter with a d, because it's not really a d, it's not really a diff phoneme underlying. So it's not really butter, it's not really water, it's just an allophone that sounds D-like because it's picked up a little bit of voicing. So transcribe them as the underlying phoneme or as the alveolar tap. Another place where this can occur is between a stress vowel and a syllabic L, like bottle, cattle. Okay? Where will this not occur? Generally, it will not occur at the end of a word that is a single utterance. Like you would never say, like, perplex. It's just, that's not going to happen. That would be perplexed with a regular allophone of T, an aspirated allophone. It will also not happen between an unstressed vowel and a stressed vowel. So where we have a word like maternal, the first syllable is unstressed and the second syllable is stressed. Maternal. And in that position, you can hear that the t at the beginning of a stressed syllable is aspirated. Maternal. We don't tend to say maternal. Maternal. And the vowel would change and the allophone would change, but that's not a word that we say in English. So you have to be aware of stress. You have to listen for this D-like sound, and you have to decide if you're going to transcribe it broadly as the underlying phoneme or as the alveolar tap. Keep in mind that there are some places where T is completely elided, like in the word international. I can get rid of the T entirely. Instead of saying international, I can say international. I can say internet, winter. I need a winter coat. So they're elided. So those aren't instances of alveolar tap. The T was just completely gone. The way we know that is because we can hear the consonant before going into the vowel following. When I say winner, it sounds just like the winner of a race. The winner of the race enjoys winter, the winter season. So that's the alveolar tap, and I hope this helps.